Great. Now we're also live on LinkedIn and YouTube, and we have more participants joining us from different countries. It's great to have you all here. Hi, Balbir, you're a student. Let us know where you're joining us from. Um, Hi, is there someone joining us from Zambia? Great. Hi, Sendil, you're joining us from Pune. Hi, Umar, you're joining us from Kenya. Hi, Amrita from PA. Hi, Ravi, you're joining us from the US. Good morning to you. There's someone from Nepal. Sorry, I missed the name. Okay, we have someone from Nigeria. Hi, Ravi, you're joining us from the US. Anupama from Nepal. Hi, Srishti from India. Hi, Lynn, California. Great. Wow, amazing. Amazing. It's really great to have such a lively bunch of audience here. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Ananya, and I will be hosting the session on behalf of Simplilearn. We have a super informative insight-packed workshop. This is going to be 3 hours long, so please do stay tuned. There's a lot to take away from this session. Yes, to make sure today's session runs smoothly and that everyone gets the most of it, we have a few rules that we request everyone to follow. Number one, please drop any questions that you have in the Q&A box and not in the chat box. We keep getting a lot of messages in the chat box, as you can see already. So we might end up missing yours. Please use the Q&A box effectively. And please do give us some time to get back to you with an answer. We have a lot of participants and viewers here. So give us some time to get back to you with the answers. We will try our best to address all your questions. That said, if you have any issues or concerns or doubts that you have while following along with our expert, you can post that in the chat box as well. However, avoid sharing any external links or personal details or irrelevant, messages in the chat box. Please keep all the conversations relevant to the topic only. We will be strictly monitoring this and removing any irrelevant messages. And finally, for those who participate in the session till the end and give us your full name in the poll that we'll be launching at the end of the workshop, we will provide an attendance certificate. You can share this on your social media, add your resume, and even update on LinkedIn. But please do ensure that you give your full name to us in the poll that we'll be launching. Unfortunately, we will not be able to take any manual submissions, manual entries for this certificate. And along with the certificate, you will also be getting a recording of the workshop so that you can refer to it at your convenience and use it to build along as you like. Okay, so just curious to know, has anyone here attended a Simplilearn webinar or workshop before, or is this your first time? Let us know in the chat if this is your first time. We're very eager to understand, where everyone is joining us from. Okay, I see a few responses. You're saying it's first time, first time, first time. Okay. Okay, there's someone here who has attended quite a few workshops. Okay, I think Shekhar, that is. Thank you, Shekhar, for joining us again. Okay, third time. Neeraj, thank you for being here again. Great. So most of you are saying first time, so allow me to quickly brief about Simplilearn and what we do. We help people build relevant job-ready skills. It is, as simple as that. And in this journey, we have helped more than 8 million people across 150 plus countries to level up their careers. And we work with some of the world's top universities and companies to make that happen. And our idea is very simple. It is to help build skills that are current, practical, and actually used in the real world. And that's exactly, what today's session is also designed to reflect. Like I said, we have an ecosystem of great partnerships. We've built our curriculum in collaboration with highly ranked institutions and global tech giants like Google, IBM, AWS, and Microsoft. These partnerships really, sort of shape what we teach and how we teach it, which means when you learn with us, you are learning what the industry requires and expects right now. And the results speak for themselves. Our learners report an average 50% salary hike. We maintain an 80% graduate rate, which is much higher than industry average for online learning, and a 4.8 out of 5 rating from our community. This is all because our programs are live, hands-on, and taught by practitioners and not just academicians. You'll work on real problems, not just textbook exercises. And yes, so that's about it about Simplilearn. So we'll get to one of the most exciting parts of the workshop, which is meeting our expert. It is my pleasure to welcome today's speaker, today's guide, Keino Baird. Keino is a technical educator and the director of professional learning at A Plus Virtual Learning, where he designs and delivers courses in Python, data science, machine learning, and generative AI for everyone from K-12 educators to working professionals. What I personally love about Keino's approach is that he doesn't, just teach these concepts, frameworks, or tools. He has also built them. He has led multi-month boot camps that take complete beginners all the way to building real AI applications, and he's deeply focused on responsible, practical AI usage. So it's going to be a great session today. Welcome, Keino. It would be great if you could add on to that introduction and say your hi to our participants.
Hi, everyone. I want to thank you all and welcome all of you here. I'm excited to spend part of my day with you. We're going to be getting a little bit hands-on with prompt engineering, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you today.
Thanks, Keino. Okay, so I want to announce something exciting for all of you here. You're getting a free resource after the end of today's session, and it is ready to use prompts for every job function. These are not going to be just like very generic prompts. They are organized by job role and pretty much like ready to copy paste in, and each one comes with a note on what it's optimized for and a variation also that you can adapt. So please do stick around till the end because this alone could save you hours of trial and error with working with AI. Okay, before we dive into the how, I think it's worth spending just a moment on the why because the numbers here are pretty striking. 75% of knowledge workers are already using AI at work today. McKinsey estimates that 60 to 70% of work activities can be automated or augmented with AI. And Stanford research suggests AI can improve productivity by up to 40% when used effectively. And that last part is the key phrase here, when used effectively. Because clearly just having access to an AI tool doesn't automatically make us more productive. The way we use it matters a lot. And that's really the entire premise of today's workshop. I'd love to know what exactly brought everyone here. What is the number one reason for being here? Please do let us know in the poll that we've just launched. A, is it that you want to get better outputs from AI, or B, you want a structured system of working with AI tools, or C, you want to make use of the tools that you have to its maximum potential, or D, do you want to strengthen your Gen AI skills? Like I said, we've got a poll up on your screen with 4 options. Please do take a second and let us know which one resonates the most with you. Here we have a lot of people voting. Already more than 100 people have voted. Okay, it's pretty split, I would say. We have responses leaning towards getting better outputs from AI, but also that you want to develop and strengthen, your Gen AI skills. Okay, great. So it's honestly an interesting mix of answers, and all 4 of these reasons point to the same underlying need, which is most of us are using AI, but we know we could be getting so much more out of it. That gap between what AI can do and what we are actually getting from it, that is what prompt engineering closes, and that's exactly what Keino's here to help us with. Okay, so in the next 1 hour, this is how, next 3 hours, this is how like we're going to structure our time today. We're going to move through 6 key areas, starting with understanding about what prompt engineering actually is, where it is non-negotiable, and its impact and use cases across industries and roles. Then the real meat of the workshop begins. We have split it into 3 parts, which is foundations, advanced frameworks, and then expert strategies of prompt engineering. And Keino will be demonstrating all of these parts live. And yes, so let's start from the very beginning. Keino, I think a lot of people in the audience, have heard the term prompt engineering. We all know about it. It's been thrown around a lot recently, but I doubt if, all of us have a very clear idea of what it actually means. So, can you please break it down for us? Like, what is prompt engineering, and why is it such a big deal right now?
Well, I mean, right here, so if you can just go back, I'd love to read what was on the deck prior, and I'll
Yes.
speak from that. So just go back one deck. So prompt engineering is the art and science of communicating with AI to get reliable, high quality outputs. So one of the first things that I always tell my students when they are working with AI is garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so if you put garbage into an AI tool, you're going to get garbage out. So prompt engineering is really about crafting effective prompts so that you can get what you want from the AI, from the large, well, it's a large language model. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of the term LLM before, but what it is, it's a large language model. And that's what it is. So you can't just write anything into it. Okay. If you put a high quality prompt into your AI tool, whichever one you're using, you're going to get a high quality output as well. So that's the core and essence of prompt engineering. You can move ahead. All right. So when we're looking at prompt engineering, we are thinking about a few things. So we say that prompt engineering really sits at the intersection of critical thinking, communication design, and iterative problem solving. So critical thinking, knowing what you actually need. What are all of the details that I need? How can I be completely thorough when I am prompting my AI, but not thorough, but not overwhelming? Okay, communication design, structuring how you want to ask it. What's the process flow in which I want to utilize in terms of how I'm going to ask this thing? And once we get into get in a little bit more throughout the demo, we'll talk a little bit more about that structuring aspect of it. And then the third aspect is iteration. Okay, we're not just doing it one time, we're constantly taking it through a refinement process to making it continuously get better, um, continuously improve. So prompt engineering is the practice of designing inputs that guides the AI to produce the most accurate, relevant, and useful outputs possible. So you want to think of it as the difference between asking a question and asking the right question. You can move on.
I have a question here. So if allow me to be a little skeptical. Isn't prompt engineering all about knowing how to type a good question or a good command? Why is this sort of like a skill worth learning and not something that you can just figure out naturally over time?
Well, I mean, every AI tool, there's a way in which you should use that AI tool in order for that tool to be most effective. I think that most people, I mean, in the poll here, if you can just drop in the chat, how many of you are using in your day-to-day life, how many of you are using AI, whether that's work or whether that's school, how many of you are utilizing AI? Not just watching videos of AI slush on YouTube or TikTok, but how many of you are utilizing AI on a daily basis?
Okay, we
So
have
we're
a lot of
getting
things coming in. Yeah.
We're getting, yes, daily. We're using it every day. And we're using it every day to, I say one, in my workflow, in my job, I use it every day, whether it's to write an email to correct my grammar, crafting an email to my colleagues, whether I'm working on a professional development plan for the teachers that I work with, whether I am working on, sometimes I teach history as well to some students, whether I'm working with my history students to really organize content. So it's a skill that is absolutely necessary for one, I would say one, for you to stay competitive in the workplace, in the workforce. So here's some stats that we have here. Prompt engineering directly impacts AI performance. So structured use of AI improves your output quality significantly by 40 to 70% in a complex task. Okay, so the better you learn how to prompt, the more effective you are going to be. It says AI productivity gains depends on how well it's used. So AI users complete a task 40% faster and with 18% higher quality. And AI benefits vary significantly based on user capability. Okay, so if you are just now hopping on to uh, um, an AI tool, so for example, the first about 2 days ago, I introduced one of my friends. I actually live in Rwanda, Central East Africa, and some people here are using AI, but not a lot of people are using it. And I introduced ChatGPT to one of my good friends, and he's never used it. So imagine him going on to ChatGPT for the first time and just trying to figure out how it works. His prompt engineering skills are absolutely near zero. But if you are using it over time, he's going to learn how to get better outputs from the AI. So this last stat says here that AI benefits vary significantly based on user capability. If you're new to AI, you really don't know a lot of how do you craft an effective prompt. So AI increase productivity by 14% on average, but up to 34% for less skilled users. And one of the secrets too about prompt engineering, you can use AI to help you be able to craft some of the prompts that you want. And especially if you are working, if you're working and if you have a personal account where maybe you have a subscription or something like that, it begins to remember a lot of the things that you have done. And it can help you craft and shape those prompts as well. But coming back to your question, prompt engineering is an absolute necessary critical skill to help you stay competitive, to help you utilize AI appropriately, and for you to get the outputs that you want to be able to solve the problems that you need to solve.
Perfect. Thank you for that answer, Keino. And moving on, so when when we have the word engineering attached to this skill, we sort of think that this is relevant for, AI engineers or data scientists or ML professionals, right? So, but prompt engineering has very wide applications and impact across different roles and industries in reality. So, can you please take us through that?
So, I mean, whatever your industry is, there are ways in which you can utilize prompt engineering. So whether that's marketing and communication, so this shows up in terms of writing briefs, writing copy, You can design an entire marketing campaign using the right prompt engineering skills. If we take a look at something like HR and learning, and this is a place that I know a lot in because I work a lot in HR, hiring folks, specifically hiring teachers when I want to write my job descriptions, when I want to write and develop my training content, even when I'm working with my students at Simplilearn. I use prompt engineering skills when I want to do performance reviews for my teachers as well. In whether you're working in, let's say, finance and operations, whether you want to write reports, do some sort of analysis, uh, um, even in my personal life, my wife runs some logistics operations, and I use that to help her do that kind of logistics and supply operations um, for her. So it's not really limited to one role. Even as a developer, when I'm writing code, how do you get good and proper code, and how do you structure it to take a learner from part A to part B to part C? That is another way in which we can utilize prompt engineering. So in essence, it integrates into everything and a lot of the things that we are already doing.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Kino. I see a lot of repeat questions about the recording. So let me just address that once again. Yes, this workshop is being recorded and the recording will be shared with everyone on email. All of those people who stay till the end and participate in the poll that we will be launching. So please do stay tuned. You will be getting the recording on email so you can refer to it at your convenience and learn at your pace as well. And I see a couple of questions about attendance certificate, and yes, you will be getting a participation or an attendance certificate for being part of this workshop as well. But please do stay tuned till the end of the workshop. And I see a couple of people talking about some echo issues. I am not sure if it's coming from my end because it is only the only Kino and I who have our audios on. I will ensure to keep my audio off whenever Kino is speaking, so to ensure that all of you are hearing everything clearly. Okay,
There's
so
a question I want to address. Before you move on, there's a question that I want to address. And this is from it says a high school student graduating in 2030, and they're worried that prompt engineering might be obsolete as AI gets smarter and it needs less instruction. What is the core underlying skill behind prompt engineering, like critical thinking or problem framing, that I should master now so that my skills don't expire in a few years? I have a background in competitive debate and essay writing, not computer science. Since prompt engineering is essentially communicating with machines, how can I turn my traditional debate and allocation skills into a superpower for writing highly logical expert? Oh, that's a really good question. So I would say that the interface itself will change, but I think the underlying thinking skills won't. So prompt engineering is really not the skill. I think structured thinking is the skill. So as a debater and a writer, I think that you do have some of those structured thinking skills as well. But what are some of the things that you should master? I think you should be able to master things like problem framing and what I would call cognitive decomposition. So this means being able to define what the real problem is, not just looking at surface questions, being able to break that into some solvable parts, and being able to think of how you want to structure your constraints and your assumptions as well, and that your goals are really clearly stated. So AI is getting better at guessing, but that really depends on your overall, one, your clarity of intent, the quality and of your structure, and your overall precision of constraints. And that's where skills that human beings still, and I think for a long time would still be able to dominate. So you're not just like learning to talk to AI, you are learning to really think in systems. So, and like I said, your debate and essay writing, that I think that puts you ahead of most people. It helps you to understand things like claim, evidence, and your reasoning structure, while you're also probably anticipating your counter arguments, and you're able to sort of kind of build a logical flow. And this is really what high level prompting is about. So I hope I kind of addressed that a little bit for you, to our high school student. All right. So this
Yes,
is me
Keino,
here.
thank
Hi.
you, and thank you, Madhuri. Yeah, for the question. Keino, before we go on to the section, I just want to address one thing. I see a lot of you pinging your email IDs on the chat box. Please don't do that. We will not be able to take any manual entries on the chat box and give you the certificate. We will be launching a poll for this specifically at the end of the workshop. If you give your full name in that poll, then you will be getting the certificate for the workshop. Okay, so please stop sending all the email IDs in the chat. Thank you. Yes, Kino, like, so now that we've set the context, we'll move on to part one of the workshop, which is Foundations of Prompt Engineering. I believe you have 8 rules or, principles on how you can actually build a good prompt. Over to you, Kino, please walk us through the pointers and let me know when you would like to, share the screen and start the
All right.
demonstration.
I will share my screen. I just need some. Wait. Actually, you don't share yet. I'll give me permission, but you keep sharing. I'll just send a request for you to share in the meantime. All right, so let's start with some core prompt framework. All right, and here we have 8 rules. And by today, we are gonna go through about 20 rules. So you should be maybe grabbing some screenshots of this and so on, before we move on. So let's go through the first 8 rules, which is some core prompt framework. Rule number 1, we want to be as specific as possible. So the clearer your ask, the sharper the output. So we don't want to be ambiguous. That's the big idea here. We don't want to be ambiguous. We want to be as specific as possible. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, we want to define the role. All right. And what we mean here, we want to be able to give the AI an identity. Okay. It changes the tone, the depth, and the perspective instantly. Okay. So if my role is I'm a marketing manager, I am a product developer, I am a teacher, I am a student. You want to give the AI some sort of identity, because this allows for one, tone, depth, and perspective. So are we clear on these 2 rules so far? Being specific and being able to give the AI an identity where we are setting the tone and the perspective. Moving on to 3, in terms of context, we also want to create a context, all right? And this sort of kind of goes along with identity as well. But in that context, you can say, I am teaching a class. This is for a this sort of particular business. So that the AI begins not necessarily to think for you so that it can find the solution that you are looking for. Number four, you want to be able to state the format. And here we are specifying the structure. So whether or not you want bullets, you want a table, you want steps, you want a summary, you want it to lay out the pros and cons of something, you want to ensure that you are stating the format that you want. You're doing a blog, you are doing a brief, you're writing an executive report for C-suite personnel, you want to ensure that you are stating the format. Number five, again, we are setting the tone. What do you want? Do you want a professional tone? Do you want a casual tone? Are you looking to be technical? Are you looking to be very simple? Are you looking for being persuasive? Are you looking to be humorous? Okay, so just one word can save you a full rewrite of your prompt. So you want to ensure that you are setting the tone. All right, next, you want to break down the task. All right, too many ands equals too many tasks. All right, so split it. One prompt, one job. All right, so you don't want the tool, the LLM that you're using, you don't want the LLM to get quote unquote overwhelmed, okay, where it's doing too many things at a time. So, as much as possible, one prompt, one job, and you can tier it in that manner. All right. You can show examples. One good examples be 3 paragraphs of instructions. Okay. So maybe you've done something before on your in the AI that you are utilizing, and it gave you a good result. Copy and paste that, okay, so that you can get something similar to what you have done because you are showing examples. And next rule, let's use some constraints. Let's be able to set some boundaries in terms of the length, the scope, the vocabulary, and the perspective. Okay, if you want 3 sentences, ask for 3 sentences. If you want 3 paragraphs, ask for 3 paragraphs. Okay, what's the particular scope that you're looking at? What kind of vocabulary that you want it to use. So sometimes when I'm teaching my K to 12 students, some of my students who might be in quote unquote 11th or 12th grade, sometimes they don't have the vocabulary of a 11th grade or 12th grader, and their vocabulary might be that of a 7th grader. All right, so I might ask it to do it at a particular lexile level where a 7th grader can understand. And then you always want to give it the perspective that you are looking for, maybe based on the audience that you are preparing for. So 8 simple rules, okay, that you can utilize when you are engaged in prompt engineering. One, being specific, defining the role, giving content, state the format, set the tone, break down the task, show examples, and use constraints. All right, so which out of these 8 do you think are Which out of these eight do you think would be most useful in your line of work? Which out of these eight? All right. So we can move on.
Kino, I just wanted to let you know that I have disabled the chat option every because there are a lot of email IDs and full names coming in for the certificates, which sort of interrupts with the flow of the session. So
Okay.
I saw quite a lot of requests as well. So only the host and the speaker will be able to see all the live messages coming in the chat box. And we have a lot of responses that have come. A lot of them are saying one. Actually, one is the most answered rule that I can
All
see.
right.
Great. Okay, so I'll stop this screen share now and you can take it forward from here.
Okay. So we're going into our first demo, right? All right. So let me share. All right. So I am going to be using Claude. I am I'm actually going to be using, I'm a very new user to Claude. And give me a moment to just share my screen. All right, so I'm a new user to Claude, and I'm using it for this demo specifically because I didn't want to use, let's say, ChatGPT because I've been using ChatGPT for the past 3 years and it knows a lot about me. And I don't want it to be influenced by a lot of the things that I know and the things that I do on a daily basis. All right, so I'm going to be using Claude for this demo. Let me know if you're able to clearly see my screen. You're able to see my screen, right? All right, so I'm getting some thumbs up that you are seeing about you're able to see my screen. All right, so we're going to begin with a bad prompt. We're going to begin with a bad prompt, and that prompt is just going to say, write something about AI in business. I'm using the free version of Claude here, so I hope that I don't get any timeouts or anything like that. So let's just look at a bad prompt. And this is how most people use AI. Very general and very open. And remember, first rule was being specific. So let's see what we get when we say to write something about AI in business. Let's see what happens here. All right, so what do we have? So AI, where AI is making the biggest dent: automation, efficiency, smarter interactions, decision intelligence, hiring, and what do you call it? So one, it gives me quite a bit of information. Okay, so setting the core story about AI in business right now is one of genuine transformation and so on. So the output here is not wrong. Okay, but I would say that this output isn't very useful. Why? Because it's maybe very general. It's too broad for my specific task. And I really didn't control anything here in terms of what what I'm getting. All right. So that was an example of a bad prompt, a poor prompt. Let's work on a better prompt. All right, so I'm going to write here, act as a business consultant. So first, I've given it a role. And now I'm going to ask you to write a 5-bullet executive summary explaining how AI improves operational efficiency in a small retail business. Use simple language. Let me get my spelling here on improves. And in a small retail business. In small retail business. Let's see what we get here. So here's my executive summary. AI for operational efficiency in small retail. I'm not going to read it all, but it gives me 5 bullet points. That's what I asked for. Smarter inventory management, faster and more personal customer service, less time lost to admin work, sharper pricing decisions, early warning on problems. So the output that I wanted is the output that I got. So as opposed to the first poor prompt where I asked it to write something about AI in business, and it gave me a wide range of things from operations to customer experience, analytics to hiring. This one gives me something specific that I want. I want to know about smarter inventory management. AI tracks what's selling and what's sitting on shelves, then automatically reorders the right products at the right time. This cuts down on overstock and ties up cash and stockouts that drives customers away. Less time lost to admin work. Tasks like scheduling staff shifts, processing invoice, and generating sales report can be automated with AI tools. This frees up owners and managers to focus on growth instead of paperwork. So a much better prompt, a much clearer output. Here I stated the format. I asked for bullets. Okay, I gave the prompt some context. Okay, I defined my role. Clearly, you don't have to use all 8 of the rules at the same time, but it gives you something to work in. Okay, so Same topic, we get a completely different level of response. So you can drop in the chat. What are some of the things that was changed? What are some of the things that changed? What do you notice? So the first prompt was structurally designed to be a poor prompt. I like the second prompt, the second output was concise. I like the first prompt was generic, designed to be a poor prompt, very generic. So it went all over the place. So you have to be the I would say the track on which the AI train runs on. Okay, and you're gonna direct it to where you want it um to go. All right. So that was our first demo, and we will come back with a few. We have two more demos to go, but I'll turn it back over to you so that we can. I think we want to take a short break at this point.
Yes, Keino, thank you so much. If you can um, stop the screen
You
share,
want
that
me to
would
stop
be
share?
great.
I'm gonna stop share.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay, great. Maybe, we can look at a couple of questions that have come our way. Uh,
Sure. Do you want to read them
before
out to
we
me? Because I'm scrolling back in the chat.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so there was one interesting question on how to get like quality AI outputs without paying. There are a lot of concerns that I see around, losing tokens very quickly, having credit limit issues, and having to subscribe with a certain amount to get the best quality output. So, what are your insights, suggestions on this?
Well, what are my insight suggestions? I mean, here's what people pay for what you get what you pay for. In 21st century capitalistic society, we get what we pay for. And I mean, there are a lot of tools out there that people want you to try their tools, so they're definitely going to give you the free demo. Take advantage, use the free demo. But the other day, I took my car to the car wash, and it was the cheapest car wash possible because my wife just wanted to get the dirt off the car. And she paid here in Rwanda, we use Rwandan francs, and she paid 5K to get the car washed. And when the car came back, I was like, look at the condition of this car. They didn't wash this car properly. What did they do to this car? And I was like, she was like, hey, you paid for what you got, because a few weeks ago we took the car to another car wash and we paid 13K, and the car, and it was well detailed. That's what we paid for. It's the same thing here, so I can't tell you, well, when the tokens run out, what do you do? According to what you do, if you know you need AI to use it to help you do your work, if you have to pay a $20 a month subscription, if you can afford it, do so. The other option would be get 5 different email accounts, and when that token is done, jump on to another one. But I don't think there's an easy answer to say, hey, it's a tool, it's a product that folks are using, and in order to effectively use their product, you have to pay for the product.
Well put, thank you for that. And one more question before, we wrap up the first part. There was a concern about, the length of the prompt usually. Someone was sharing that, in the interest of being as detailed as possible, they end up giving like very lengthy prompts, which becomes a little complicated for the AI to understand. So where do you stand on a detailed prompt versus a lengthy prompt?
And I think we'll address that a little bit more earlier. I would say take it in steps. Okay, know what you want your end output to be, and then you have to break that down into different parts. Because, for example, my wife runs a logistics depot beverage business, and I was attempting to generate like a what you call a huge dashboard for her so that she knows what's happening at all times across different aspects of the business. And in doing so, it was overwhelming the AI. So I had to break that task down into do this piece first. After that piece is done, do this other piece. So know how to know how to break it down and then chunk it so that you get the output that you want, because you can overwhelm it quite a bit.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kino. And yeah, so with this, we are at the end of the part one of the workshop. We can take a quick 5 minute break and come back in exactly 5 minutes, and then we will resume with part two, where we're going to cover a lot more of advanced prompting framework, advanced prompting rules, as well as expert prompting strategies. So, yes, please do stay tuned and we will resume in just about a few minutes.
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back everyone. Let us know if we can get started with the next session. If you're here, just you can react with a thumbs up. So we know that everyone is set to move on to the next part. Okay, okay, great. Before I hand it over to Keino, just allow me a couple of quick minutes to talk about something exciting. I have a couple of questions about, asking about more sessions if we have build sessions that are coming up. So before we go on further, we just want to quickly talk about a couple of great sessions. The first one is coming from Oxford SED's Business School. It's called Data Decisions and Digital Transformation. If today's session has you thinking about how AI fits into bigger business decisions and organizational strategy, then this one is definitely worth your time. It's being led by faculty from Oxford Ed, and it's really about how professionals can position themselves to lead in an AI-driven environment. And it goes a lot beyond just learning how to use AI tools. It's coming on the 21st of April. It will be at 6:30 p.m. IST. And I will share the details of it on the chat right now so that if you are interested, you can scan the QR code or click on the link and register. Yes, and we have another exciting session coming up, which will be a demo on how to catch credit card fraud using Power BI and Gen AI. This has a lot of analytics, a lot of hands-on understanding of how fraud works and how you can detect and prevent fraud through analytics. And this is happening on the 22nd of April. This one is perfect if you want to see AI apply to a data problem in real time. So you will watch an AI engineer and data science instructor, Solomon Promise, explain how to build a fraud detection workflow. This is a great way to see how the prompting principles that we are covering today translate into technical applications. Both these sessions are absolutely free to attend. The QR codes, like I said, are up on your screen right now, and the links are in your chat box. I definitely hope to see all of you or some of you there. Okay, so moving on, back to the main stuff. Keino, we can move on to the more advanced territory here. So in this part two of the workshop, Keino is going to demonstrate how to go from basic prompting to precision prompting. So what separates someone who is good at prompting from someone who's genuinely expert level, Keino? I believe you have some rules and principles built for this segment as well. So please take us through that, and then over to you to demonstrate how it works as well.
All right. Do you want to just share not slide 17, slide number 21 for me?
Sorry, I
Can you
didn't
share
get you.
slide 21 so I can talk about
Slide
precision
number
prompting?
21. Okay, just give me a second. Sure. Yes, I am at slide 21 already. Yes.
All right. If you can just keep it up on the screen for me. Do you have it up?
Yes, give me a second. I think it was shared. Just give me a second.
I'm not seeing it, but
Yeah, just allow me a moment.
yeah. If it's a little difficult for you, let me try doing it instead.
Just a second. Apologies for the delay. It should be up
Okay, I
in.
got it. I got it. You don't worry about it. I got it. All right. So here, let's talk about precision prompting. And we have a couple more rules for you. And we're going to go through rules 9 through 15. So, first rule, ask for multiple options. So, never settle for the first output. Requesting alternatives gives you range, comparison, and creative choices. So, don't just deal with or take the first thing that the AI gives you. Ask for various options. Say, hey, give me three choices to pick from. Maybe you're asking for it to design some sort of graphic for you. Ask for different styles. Ask for different options. Rule number 10, use iterative refinement. So your first prompt is a draft. Treat it that way. The best output comes from a conversation, not a single exchange. So you're talking with your LLM, like not like you're talking to a person, you're talking to an LLM, but make sure that you are going through the iteration process, okay, where you are refining um, your prompt and you're pushing the LLM to continuously get better. Rule number 11, ask for missing details. So if you're not sure what context to provide, let the AI ask you first. And you can simply ask the AI, hey, what am I missing here? Rule number 12, use step-by-step reasoning. So for complex or analytical tasks, instruct the AI to show its thinking, and this dramatically improves accuracy. Sometimes when you're utilizing, let's say, I know a lot about ChatGPT. You would say it will show you I'm thinking this, thinking that, thinking that. You really want to see that step. Well, you can ask it, hey, break down your thought process that allowed you to arrive at this particular results. Rule number 13, avoid ambiguity. Ambiguity. Every vague word in your prompt is a place where AI makes an assumption and it may not be the right one. So you don't want to be ambiguous. Okay. And this goes back to being as specific as possible. Okay. So you don't want to leave the AI to wonder, because sometimes when you leave the AI to wonder, AI suffers from something called hallucination. It may do that, okay, because it wants to give you an answer, but it might not be the answer that you need. So you don't want to be ambiguous. Number 14, clarify your audience. So the same information that's written for a CEO reads completely different when it's written for a new hire. So you want to define who will read it. And at number 15, restrict unwanted behavior. Telling the AI what not to do is just as important as telling it what to do. So one of the things is the AI is not a real person. Okay. And rule number 15 is very, very important. Okay. Because what the AI is doing, it's just utilizing a bunch of different math to get you the response that it wants you to get. It's been trained on everything. There's AI tools out there that's been trained on everything. You know, if you take Wikipedia, there's some AI tool that's being trained on it. So there's a lot of information in there, but you want the information that you need. So it's also important to tell the AI what not to do. So at this point, we're going to move over and we are going to demonstrate a few more things. All right. So I am going to start a new chat. And I want some feedback, so not some feedback, but I want some help here. And our goal in this demo is to show refinement and iteration. All right. So we want a new product. Okay. And if anyone can give me some product ideas, and I'll pick from based on what I see in the chat. So we want to create a marketing message for a new product. Okay. And what should that product be? So if you can just drop in the chat, what might that product be? Let me get a few suggestions from you. What might that product be? A motorcycle helmet. I like that because we take a lot of motorcycles here in Kigali. So I'll start with that. Maybe we'll try to do another one as well. But let's try to take a motorcycle helmet. All right. So create, I'm going to start with my prompt. Create a marketing message for a new product, a motorcycle. It was a motorcycle helmet. And let's see what we get here. I am sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen, host? Are you not able to see my screen? Really? So let me stop share and try sharing again. Some people are able to see it. Some people are not. All right, hold on. Give me a minute. Are you able to see it now? All right, so you're able to see my screen. All right, so we asked it to create a marketing message for a new product, a motorcycle helmet. So it says, I'd love to tailor this for you. A few quick questions. Who is your target audience? All right, so I would say something else. I would say motorcycle drivers. Let's see. All right, so let me see, for motorcycle riders. All right, so here is my ad, my message. Ride fearless. The road doesn't wait, neither should you. Introducing the helmet name, engineered for riders who push limits, not boundaries. Built with military grade impact protection and aerodynamic shell that cuts through the wind like a blade, and a ventilation system that keeps you locked in and cool when it matters most. This isn't just a helmet, it's your edge. Triple certified safety rating, ultra lightweight carbon filter shell, anti fog, angle, wide angle visor, precision fit, on the road, built for riders, built for victory. All right, and it gives me three different messages for this app. It gives me one that says it's bold and adrenaline, trustworthy and safe, sleek and premium. But I want to then say create three, and it kind of already did that, but let's see what it comes up with here. Three marketing messages for this motorcycle helmet that targets motorcycle taxi drivers. Let's see what the output there would be. So you're not going to get the same, what do you call it, that I get. You're not going to get the same outputs if you're trying the same prompts for that person who wrote that response. So here we get three different marketing messages. We get one that focuses on durability and value. We get one that focuses on safety and family. And we get one that's about um, professional, professional pride. All right. I want to do a new chat just to kind of elaborate a little bit more on this demo. And this time I'll start over and I'll start simple where I say create a marketing message for a new product. So we have a generic product this time. So it's asking what the product is called. So we're going to do a new productivity app. And my target audience is busy professionals. And I don't want this part. I'll skip this. So it's new product for busy professionals. All right, so here I get three different uh, messages, three different marketing messages. First one, your to-do list doesn't have to feel like a weight on your closet. Second one, save 2 hours a day, every day. Third one, the productivity app that respects your intelligence. All right, so each message takes a slightly different angle. Option one, it says it leads with empathy, ideal for social ads or email campaigns where you want an immediate emotional connection. Option two leads with a concrete outcome, great for landing pages or paid search where people are actively looking for solutions. And option three leans into positioning and identity, best for brand awareness or targeting a discerning, high achieving audience. All right. And what I want to do now, I just want to say, hey, make one, make one humorous, one persuasive, and one direct. Let's see what our outputs here are going to be. All right, and the first one is definitely for me because if you go and check out some of my different windows that are open, I have a lot of tabs that are open. So your 47 open browser tabs call. They are staging and intervention. All right, so that's a humorous one, and it's clearly telling me it's humorous. The most successful professionals don't work more. They work with better tools. And do more, stress less, start in 60 seconds. All right, so I get three different one. And I mean, like this is really one of the first times I'm using Claude. And just from my overall, what do you call it with it, it seems like a very good LLM because a lot of the things it's doing it already for it's doing it already for you. All right, so the idea is we're moving from vague to having some sort of targeted, from vague answers to having some sort of targeting strategy. And we call this process iteration. So your first prompt is not your final prompt, it's just your starting point. And the best, when you're using AI, the best users, they don't write better prompts. They refine, um, they refine their prompts. So this was a quick demo on precision prompting where we went a little bit deeper. Next, we are gonna look at, let me know if you're able to see my screen again. How to take it up a notch. How to master working with AI. Okay, so we have rules 16 through 20. Rule 16. Use rewriting instructions. So AI is an exceptional editor. Give it existing content and specific rewrite instructions for fast, controlled transformation. Rule number 17, request validation. Ask the AI to check its own work before you do it. It can catch errors, gaps, and inconsistencies faster than a reread. Rule 18, use multi-step commands. Give the AI a sequence to follow, not just a single task. This produces structured, layered outputs. Rule 19, chain prompts together. Each output becomes the input for the next prompt. This is how you build complex, high quality deliverables. And rule number 20, clarify the intent, the why behind your request that helps the AI understand what success looks like and calibrate accordingly. Okay, so there's absolutely no need to begin from scratch. Let's say you've been working on a particular project in the AI tool of your choice. All right. Let me get back to my slide here. On the AI tool of your choice. And it has memory. It knows what you have been working on. You can ask for, give me a summary of all the prompts that I've been working on for this particular project and how to best structure these prompts. You can ask it to do that. And that could be your multi-step command. Sometimes I ask my AI to do a lot of calculations and aggregations, and sometimes it makes errors. You know, it's a good practice just to ask it to, hey, can you double check the numbers that I'm asking you for? And then it say, oh, I made a calculation. So always remember that these tools they're not 100% perfect. All right, so they can make errors. So it's important that you check them, but you also ask them to check themselves. All right, so for this next demo that I am going to do, I found this article, and the article talks about recruiters admit to using AI robots for job interviews. 4 in 5 hiring managers say artificial intelligence is used at some point in the process. So I want to just copy some of this article. I'm going to just copy some of it. And I'm going to dump it into my AI space here. I'm going to go grab a little bit more. And I'm going to dump it in there. And I'm going to grab some more. Not all of it, but and I'm going to dump it in there. And one more grab. And let me just get a little bit more. Oh, that's about it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just ask it to summarize this article. That's my prompt. Summarize this article. And I would say in 60 words, 60 to 70 words. All right, so it summarizes my article. It says AI is rapidly transforming recruitment, with 83% of recruiters now using it in hiring. While it helps manage high application volumes, job seekers feel the process has become unfair and impersonal, with 63% believing AI-led recruitment is less fair than human judgment. Meanwhile, candidates are fighting back by using AI to craft applications. Rising competition with applications per job posting with rising competition with applications per job posting up 286% is driving adoption on both sides. So now I'm going to demonstrate chain prompt uh, prompting. Okay, so I'm going to say now rewrite this summary for a CEO. I would say give me 150 to 200 words. All right, so you see here, I have my rewrite in about 150 to 200 words, and this is specifically tailored for a CEO. Now I can say, now turn this into a linked in post. So here is my post. It's formatted. It has some hashtags as well. It asks for, there's a sort of kind of engagement strategy on this post. Okay, I just need to add in my name and my title. I can even ask that it adjusts the tone to match my voice. And finally, I can say, now critique this post and improve it. Let's see what happens. So it's doing some self-critique of its own work. And let's look at the critique. So he says, here's my honest critique of the original post, followed by the improved version. The opening line, AI is now on both sides of the hiring table, is a cliche that has been used hundreds of times on LinkedIn. It won't stop anyone scrolling. The post also felt somewhat corporate and distant, leaning on statistics without much personality or a clear point of view. It read more like a report than a conversation. The ending question, is AI making hiring better or just faster, was decent but predictable. Overall, it lacked a strong hook, a distinctive voice, and a concrete takeaway that would make someone stop, read, and share. And then it's telling you what it improved. The hook is now provocative. So our hook now is we built AI into hiring to find better people faster. Instead, we may be driving good candidates away. So the hook is now provocative and specific, designed to stop the scroll. The post has a sharper point of view rather than sitting on the fence. The statistics are still there, but it's woven in more naturally. The ending is more personal and challenging, inviting genuine debate rather than a generic yes no. And the tone feels a little bit more human. So it says the key changes at a glance. The opening is now a bold, specific claim than a neutral observation. The block quote format breaks up the text visually and draws the eye to the most striking stat. The phrase, that's not an efficiency gain, that's a trust crisis, gives the post a memorable, shareable line. And the closing question is directed specifically at decision makers, making it more likely to prompt a meaningful response in the comments. So, what happened here? All right, so we didn't just get an answer, we got more like a workflow. And this is really the difference between beginner and advanced users. Beginners are using maybe one prompt. Your expert users are building systems where they have a workflow that can be repeated over time. So always ask the AI what it needs. Okay, before answering, make sure that you have some clarifying questions to help improve the results. All right, and this is probably one of the most powerful things that you can do. Okay, so sometimes you don't always need better prompts. You just need sometimes to be able to ask better questions from the AI. So these 20 rules, they aren't just separate ideas. They are one system that should be used together. All right. So here are a few takeaways for you. Uh, I think most of us here know that AI is not magic. What's behind this is a lot of math, a lot of vectors, matrix factorization, and things in order to really build a good, strong, large language model. So AI isn't magical. It's a tool, and the difference between getting average results and powerful results is when you know how to use it well. So some of these skills, I want you to take it and apply it to your actual work, whether it's your reports, your data analysis, your business decisions, whatever it is that you do. And this is where it becomes a real valuable skill. So that's the end of our demo. And Alicia and Anya, I'll turn it back over to you, but I'll still be here. Let me stop share.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Keino. Just give me a second to start the screen share again. Okay, yes, so these were the expert prompting strategies that we just covered. Before we go on to the next segment, I got a couple of questions about concerns about not being able to register for our upcoming fraud analytics webinar. So I'm going to share another link here in the chat box with everyone. This should be, they should not have any issues. So please do register for the session if you're interested to attend. And if you have registered, it will take a while. You will get a confirmation email from Zoom as well as us. Okay. Okay, so we have the Q&A segment coming up very, very shortly. We have a lot of questions, interesting questions that have come our way, and we will be covering as much as possible in the Q&A segment with Keino very shortly. But before that, we would like to just talk to you a little bit about one of our programs. So we started this workshop by, understanding that AI is everywhere, but the quality of what you get depends entirely on how you engage with it. We learned about prompt engineering and how it sits at the intersection of critical thinking, communication design, and iteration. It is a skill, and it has to be honed and built upon. We also built up from core principles like specificity, role definition, and format, all the way to advanced techniques like chain prompting, multi-step commands, and asking AI to validate its work. And I think the big takeaway is this: the gap between someone who uses AI and someone who works with AI as a productivity multiplier, that gap is prompt engineering. Now, today in this workshop, we have given you, a good foundation of how the prompt engineering works. But if you're thinking that you want to take this further, you want to go from knowing these principles to actually building with AI, working with LLMs, understanding GenAI architecture, that's exactly where our applied generative AI specialization comes in. So let's talk a little bit more about that. It is a live, online, and interactive program that spans for 16 weeks, requiring just about 8 to 10 hours of commitment per week. It has a dynamic AI curriculum. You will learn agentic AI, deep learning, LLMs, RAG pipelines, AI literacy, and a lot more. You will get to work on 60 plus exercises and 7 plus projects with guidance from experts. So you walk away with a lot of practical learning, such as from this workshop, and give opportunities to apply that learning as well. So this workshop is just like a very, very small preview or a demo into what more the extent of learning opportunities there are with this program. Kino, you teach quite a lot of GenAI programs with Simplilearn. It will be great if you can come in here and share with our participants how our curriculum is and how industry aligned our learning path is usually, and how it supports learners.
All right, thank you. So I am an instructor for a number of courses here at Simplilearn, specifically all related to AI. And one of the first questions that I get, and one of the first questions that a lot of students ask me is, do I need to learn how to code? What kind of coding do I know? The program typically takes you from zero to, I would say, almost hero. But even if you have no background, no technical background, a program like this is designed for you. One of the things that I like about the program as the instructor is the overall design of the program. It's really built on some key learning principles, and it's specifically as in coming from an education background, that really works for a lot of learners. There are opportunities for many different at-bats at it. So, for example, a lot of the lectures are already recorded. So in many cases, you can preview the content before coming to class. During class, there are opportunities for live interaction with an instructor. And at the end of that, you can always go back and watch the recording of what you missed. So maybe the instructor was going a little bit fast and you didn't catch something. You can always go back and then learn at your own pace. In this specific program, Some of the things that you are going to be introduced to includes you're going to have a program induction and some overall AI literacy skills. You're going to look at some advanced generative AI models and architecture. So being able to understand things like maybe a transformer model, being able to understand the architecture behind transformers, self-attention, and positional encoding. I like to tell students as well that a lot of people are using AI, okay? But a program like this makes you know exactly how AI works. It's like I'm not a mechanic. I just drive my car. Okay, when my car has an engine problem, I take it to the mechanic, and the mechanic fixes the car. Okay, ask me how the car works. I really don't know how the car works. I just want the car to be. I just know, hey, you put gas in the car, you press the brakes, and you drive. Okay, a program like this allows you to become the mechanic, okay, where you're opening the hood of the car and you're understanding the functionalities of the car. You're going to be able to understand, hey, what neural networks are, how do you train neural networks, how do you fine tune things, how do you customize your LLMs, what's the importance of data collection, data cleaning, and pre-processing in all of these things. How do you deploy things? How do you how do you build things like a chat bot? How exactly is Claude or ChatGPT generating context? Why is it able to summarize something? Why is it able to perform something like sentiment analysis? So a lot of the core of these programs really allow you to become that functional, not just a consumer of AI, but someone who understands how how it is working. You know what? So we may not fully understand what's happening inside of the black box with all of the math and calculus and so on that's involved, but you're going to get a much better perspective than I would say 95% of the population who is just using AI for the sake of, hey, it makes my task a little bit easier. You're going to learn things about AI governance. You know, there are a lot of ethics uh, that surround AI, and that's important for you to understand so that you're not crossing those ethical boundaries. You're going to look at things like generation capabilities, where you are going to be doing projects um, like using convolutional neural networks to see how it's actually able to generate that lifelike image. So a program like this really, I think it's very effective as an instructor. Um, a lot of my students, they come in with absolute no knowledge, and the first few nights sometimes it's a little bit rough, but I'm usually there and our instructors are there to support them every step of the way. We have cohort managers that are there to support learners as well. But it gives you a thorough, more than an introduction to using and working with AI. And then it also helps you prepare for certifications like the Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals. And it also gives you a good, thorough understanding of and using of Microsoft Copilot. So I'll turn it back over to you. But that's a pretty what the curriculum uh, is like. I mean, there's a lot more that I could have said, but that's just a general framework of our curriculum. It's technical, but it's also doable.
Thank you, Kino. I think that was a pretty comprehensive overview of the learning path. And I will quickly, move on to the projects in this program. As we mentioned, this program has a lot of practical learning opportunities, such as, building an image generation application, a marketing design studio, an HR assistant, and a lot more. And what you will actually be learning across this program is genuinely impressive in terms of the breadth of skills. We're talking about everything from LLM architecture and fine tuning to retrieval augmented generation, agentic AI, prompt engineering, Gen AI governance, the full stack of what's relevant in the market right now. Kino, we've spent today the last couple of hours talking about prompting, but this slide shows a much broader list of skills and tools. So how important, in your perspective, how important are these skills and tools for serious AI practitioners, for people who want to build a career or enter into the AI market, from the lens of a recruiter or an employer? How important are these?
I would say they're very, very important. And I think going back to my idea of not just using the tool, but understanding how the tool works. And these are the things that allows the tools to work. So one, the Python programming language is definitely an important programming language in regards to using and coding with AI. Very, very important. You A lot of our programs introduce you to Python. A lot of our programs, the anchor coding language in the programs, um, is um, is Python. And then a lot of the other things are a lot surrounding the nature of the architecture of what you are doing, things that are going to help you to deal with developing and building your models, whether you're pre-training them, you're fine-tuning them, maybe you're doing some aspect of transfer learning to some of these very specific application. Being able to choose the right model, a program like this is going to help you. And all of these topics together, you're going to gain the knowledge and the expertise to do that. And in the previous slide, you also showed a little bit about the different projects and portfolios. That's important for employers as well. What are you able to do? What are you able to build and produce? What can you demonstrate that you have done? So a lot of these tools are tools that people need to know how they work. Employers are looking at people who not only can just use the tool, but can really build something authentic for a particular business, for maybe a particular application, utilizing these tools.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kino. And the program is structured to work around a professional's life. You get live weekly sessions with experts for that accountability and depth, self-paced materials for flexibility, and hands-on labs where you will actually, be building things with mentor support. In addition to this, you also have a peer community of professionals navigating the same journey. So this entire learning environment is designed keeping in mind your professional life as well. And beyond the curriculum, there is a whole career support layer built in, technical assessments to sharpen your proficiency, mock interview prep so you can articulate your skills more confidently, AI powered tools to optimize your resume and LinkedIn visibility, as well as curated job opportunities matched to your profile. So you will not be just earning a certificate. You will also be getting the environment and the support to actually make use of it. So that end-to-end support is what makes this a good career investment. And so for those of you who are interested, here are the program investment details. For Indian learners, the fee is 1,19,999. And for the US learners, it is $2,699. We have installments starting at just 5,373 rupees a month for learners from India, and for learners from the US, the installments start at just $270 a month. For our learners from other parts of the world, we know that we have participants from all over the world here. Apologies for not being able to share the investment details exactly in your currency, but you can use this link that I would be sharing in the chat right now to get the details of the program and the investment details in your own currency. So with that, I'm going to launch a poll to take your interest in enrolling in the program. All you have to do is vote yes or no in this poll. Please do participate and drop in your answers now. Even if you have any queries, you need more details, you can click on yes. Our expert advisor will be getting in touch with you and guiding you forward. And in case if you're voting no, please do feel free to let us know why. In the chat, we would genuinely like to know and understand what's holding you back. Great. Okay, so while the poll is live, Kino, I'm gonna start reading out the questions, and we can take a look at some of the most interesting questions that have come our way.
Sure.
Okay, this is one question that I found pretty interesting. If AI can help us write prompts, why should we master prompt engineering?
If AI can help you write prompts, why should you master prompt engineering? Because it's the thinking skills that you are getting in terms of being able to craft an effective prompt. It's that, I would say, it's that interplay between man and machine. I think AI is going to be able to do more in the future, but I think as in terms of as thinking, feeling human beings, you have to be able to do that, because AI is not unless you expose it to the details of your particular situation. What you're gonna get is something very, if you don't expose it to the details of your particular situation, what you're gonna get is something very generic. But I think it's a very good skill, and I think I had addressed that at the very beginning as well. It's a critical thinking skill that you as a human need, and you have to be the one that is in control of the machine, I would say. A few months ago, I did a podcast with a colleague, and we're doing this series on AI, and the she was very concerned about folks losing their jobs with AI. The people who will lose their jobs with AI is who is allowing AI to do their jobs for them. Okay, but those who can bring solutions to the table with the help of AI and using AI appropriately are the people who are going to survive whatever we think might be on the verge of happening. So it's not allowing the tool to replace you, but being able to master the tool so that you're working side by side with it. So it's not just about mastering prompt engineering, it's about that critical engagement with the tool to be able to produce the solutions that you want. That's my take on that question.
Perfect, thank you. The next question is from Neeraj. His point is, I have heard that different models give better outputs with different structured inputs. Is it correct?
Yeah, that's the correct answer. Okay, so models are only getting better and better over time. Some people find their tool and they like their tool and they develop a long-term lack of a better word, they develop a long-term relationship um, with that that tool. And new tools are coming out every day, and the different models are doing different things. Like one of the other tools that I like to use Google Notebook LM. I think it's a very, very powerful tool. It's a tool that's not, it doesn't hallucinate as much as, let's say, like some earlier models of ChatGPT where it wants to give you an answer. But the question there, that there are different tools for different things. If you want to be able to write songs using AI, you can use ChatGPT to write a song, but it's not going to sing that song for you. You're going to have to use another tool in order to do that. But that's a very good, accurate, good, correct line of thinking in regards to the question.
Okay, thank you, Keino. I hope that answered your question, Neeraj. Okay, so actually we've gotten quite a lot of responses to enroll in the program. So just allow me a second to stop the poll. Okay, great. I've stopped the poll right now. And yes, we will continue to take in a few more questions. And yes, if for those of you who would like attendance certificate for the workshop, please do stay tuned. We will be launching another poll for that very quickly. So give me a second. Okay. Yes, I'm going to read out the next question, Kino. This is from someone who says that they have foundational knowledge in tools like Power BI, but lack advanced coding or DAX skills. What is the best prompt framework to use when asking an AI to help write formulas or build data models that they don't fully understand yet? They know a little bit of coding only and want to further work on their prompt engineering skills. So
Can
what's
you
the
just
best
repeat the
way?
start of the question? Can you repeat the beginning of the question again?
Yeah, so they have a foundational knowledge in tools like Power BI, but lack advanced coding skills. What is the
Mhm.
best prompt framework to use when asking an AI to help write formulas or build data models that they don't fully understand yet?
All right. Well, what I would say is if you have a data set, let's say you have an Excel file or a CSV file, I think the coding is not necessarily relevant, okay? But you can take your data set, dump it into your LLM, whatever you're using, whether it's Claude, whether it's Gemini, whether it's ChatGPT. And from there, I would say you can begin to ask the AI to begin to prompt you to say, what's the best way to analyze this data? That's where I would start from. Okay. I don't think you need to quote unquote learn any new formulas. I think the AI is going to be able to do that for you. But it's just, I think it's just a data dump into the LLM and ask it to do the analysis for you. Maybe you're looking for a perspective. Share that perspective with the LLM, and it should be able to do that for you.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. Considering the effort required to craft effective prompts, is it sometimes more efficient to complete certain tasks manually rather than using AI?
Consider the effort to craft effective prompts. So how do I answer that question? I would say that what you're looking for is an output. What you're looking for is a solution to a problem. The the LLM is going to be able to solve that problem way faster give you a variety of solutions, give you more solutions to your problem than attempting to do it manually. That's what I'm kind of getting from the question. I mean, you're not going to be able to beat the math behind the machine. That's what I am gonna say. You're not going to be able to do that. So I would rather put the effort into guiding the LLM to help me solve the problem and give me a variety of answers. So I think it's working smarter than attempting to do that hard manual work, and you're not going to get 1/5 of the output that you can possibly get. That's how I would answer um, that question. All right.
Okay,
I'm
thank
seeing
you.
something in the chat. I'm seeing something in the chat here. They're saying while using ChatGPT
Yes,
or
please.
Claude or Gemini, it gives me an error like server busy, high traffic, retry after a few minutes. Is it a common phenomenon or can it be avoided? Can you please advise? So are you using a free model or are you using a paid model? That's what I would say there. It depends on the tokens. When you're using a paid model. All right. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. I've never really experienced that. I know when I was using the free version of ChatGPT, my tokens would run out, but I've never really gotten that message. I can take a deeper look into that and see. But go ahead.
Yes. Saurabh, we will see if we can get back to you, specifically on that question, on that concern over email. Unfortunately, we cannot take this up right now, but we will try to get back to you on email. Kino, I will move on to the next question. So these AI softwares and AI tools are being trained on our data. So what AI tools should or could be used that we can, install in our systems and it will give us more security and help us understand and use AI much better.
So I think privacy and security is an important concern when it's being used. You have to be mindful the data that you share um, with them is your data that you share, but that data is not going to be shared with others. What it's gonna be, what it's doing, it's helping to make the next model a little bit more efficient, make the next model a little bit better, but what you put out there is what the AI is gonna know about you. So I'm sure I think all of these different companies have their privacy policy, their data policy, and everything like that. And you just have to know the type of user um, that you are, you know? That's the best way that I can answer that question. If it's information that you don't want shared, don't put it into the AI model, okay? But my AI model is not going to take my personal information and then go share it with somebody else, okay? That's just between you and your account on that particular platform.
Perfect. Moving on. Just give me a second. Yeah. Can we use AI tools for academic research in MSc or PhD program and not have AI plagiarism test issues?
That's a very good question. That's a question on the ethical aspect of things. And my frame of reference for that question is coming from I at one point I was enrolled in a PhD program and I did not finish it because I fell in love with data science and I decided to go down that path. I am not against anyone getting a PhD or anything like that. There are rules to the academy, okay? But on the flip side of things, um, the academy in and of itself has always kind of they have been they haven't been as sharing with knowledge as they should have. That's my opinion. Okay. Someone would complete a PhD and between them and their advisor, no one else reads that PhD and it's on a bookshelf um, somewhere, but it probably opened up doors for that person. A lot of these ideas are being flipped on its head now because knowledge isn't just the gate to knowledge has been sort of kind of open, okay? And you should, as a person who is as a student, you shouldn't plagiarize, you shouldn't cheat. But on the flip side, as an educator, I would say there has to be new ways of allowing folks to learn where we don't consider it cheating. You know, knowledge should be free and open for everyone. And living in a country where much of the population is rural, much of the population may not have um, may not have access to advanced education that we've had in places like India or the United States. I think a tool like AI really democratizes education and who who gives you access to um, this knowledge. So I think that you should not cheat if you're doing a PhD. You should be doing authentic research. But I think we're at an era where knowledge is freely available to everyone and it shouldn't be hoarded. That's my honest opinion about that. And even as a teacher, I think that a lot of teachers, we need to learn how to teach better using these tools and not think of it in ways where children are cheating. Think about exams as a whole. I'm not saying that we should get rid of exams, but exams, they haven't really been used to quote unquote prove how much you know, more so as to saying you have access to this and you don't have access to this. That's just my thoughts on that.
Perfect. Thank you, Keino. And I think a lot of our participants also agreeing to that. I see a lot of thumbs up coming our way. So thank you for sharing that perspective. We will take maybe 2 or 3 more questions and look to wrap up the session. Okay, we have someone asking how to prepare for prompt engineering job roles. So if they're looking to become a prompt engineer, then what do you advise? What is your advice for them to prepare for that role, prepare for that interview?
I would say how to prepare for the interview.
Yes.
I would say use the 20 strategies that we went over in the webinar today. I would say I would go through and develop your own framework um, for that, specifically along the lines of having something to show, okay? Having something to show, but I would also be prepared along the lines of understanding not just being able to write the prompts, but being able to give the mechanic explanation of what is happening when you're writing the prompt, what's pushing the AI to get a better answer. okay? Understanding things situationally, understanding things contextually, and so on. So I think use those 20 rules that I shared with you, okay, and develop your framework specifically for what you want to demonstrate. Is there a particular industry that you want to be that you're focused on? Be able to solve a problem, not just write the prompt, but show how to effectively solve a problem.
Okay, thank you, Keino. I hope that answers your question, and good luck in your job search and interviews that are lined up. Okay, a couple of more questions we can take. Okay, guys, thank you for all the thumbs up, but maybe we can, focus on the questions now. How can a professional with non-IT background benefit from prompt engineering for progressing in career? Do we need to have an IT background, or a non-IT professional can also get a job as a prompt engineer?
Like, okay, yes, a non IT person can get a job in, what do you call it? And what I would say is use your domain expertise. Domain expertise matters a whole lot. Okay, so for example, I'm trained as a data scientist. I apply my data scientist expertise to the education field because that is my domain expertise. I am good when it comes to teaching and learning and working with teachers. Okay, I am not going to go apply my domain expertise to the field of oil and gas because I know absolutely nothing about oil and gas. That's not my domain expertise. So you shine where your domain expertise is. So you don't need an IT background. Okay, an IT background is helpful, but it's not absolutely essential or necessary. Your domain expertise matters a whole lot more.
Well said. Thank you for that, Kino. Next question. Um, Okay, so this is about the project feature in Claude. So if we have a project set up in Claude with instructions in with regards to what role and what output we want, do we still need to keep telling the AI what role they need to act as during the conversations?
Well, I'm a very fairly new user to Claude, and what I would say is what Claude has, just from looking at it, what Claude has built in is some of those prompt engineering skills. So the model is sort of kind of guiding you. So if the model is providing that sort of kind of response for you, what you need is a very powerful initial prompt. Okay, because the model is acting like a recommendation system already for you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, there's someone who is building an app that should ideally have 9 dashboards from a database, each with different functionalities. So in this case, what is the approach should they take? Should we give prompts for each one separately, or can we generate the entire desktop app with one single prompt?
So I would do it separately, and I encountered this same thing a couple weeks ago when I was working on building a dashboard for my wife, and you don't want to overload the AI. Okay, so you want to build each dashboard separately. That's what I would do. Don't just spit everything out to it. Um, Go through that iterative process and slowly build as opposed to attempting to give it everything because the AI is going to get overwhelmed, it's going to get confused, it's going to spit out errors and so on. So build it tier at a time. Okay, break it down into some manageable chunks so that you can get the get the response that you want before moving on, because sometimes dashboard 1 is connected to dashboard 2 is connected to dashboard 3. Okay, but then it makes some sort of error in dashboard 2, and then it messes up everything else. So slowly build and then refine.
Okay, great. Thank you for that advice. Just a couple of last questions and we will wrap up after this. Okay, I think someone has posted this in Q&A as well as chat box. What is your opinion, Keino, on ChatGPT? Like, is it now become obsolete?
So I like ChatGPT. I'll be honest with you. I like ChatGPT. There are other AI models that I really want to explore and so on. And I have a paid version of ChatGPT, so I don't think it's obsolete. Okay. There are other tools that I use as well, like Google Notebook. If I wanna write a song or a jingle, there are other tools that I would use. But I would say that I don't think, I think there are always going to be better tools out there, and we will always get what we pay for. And that's what I'm paying for right now. My functionality on some of the tools is going to be based on how much tokens I have when I run out and whatnot. There are other tools that I would love to learn and explore, but I do like ChatGPT.
Okay,
Okay, I
thank
think
you, Keino.
it's like, I mean, I think it's the tool that everyone knows about. It's the really common tool. But I think LLMs are gonna be out there and they're gonna keep getting better and better and better. I'm also seeing a question in the chat is how to build an LLM. You need a lot of money and you need a lot of data. That's the two things in terms of how to build an LLM. A lot of data, a lot of money, okay, to be able to train a large language model. All right, so that is, you got to learn, you need a lot of data. Okay, lots of data.
Okay, thank you, Keino. The last question I'm going to take is this. I often find that for simple coding tasks, the time required to articulate the problem to AI exceeds the time needed to solve it myself. How should we factor this prompt overhead into decisions about when is AI actually beneficial?
Well, I think that's a question that that person has to be aware of. You know, I don't know what specific task you're doing. I don't know what specific task that you're um, engaged in. But from just the question, it seems as though you're really smart. You're a really intelligent person.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. I think we can wrap up the Q&A segment with this. Okay, great. I think this is a section that a lot of you would be eager to know. This is about the attendance certificate. I see that a lot of questions and comments have already come about this. So I'm going to launch another poll where you can enter your full name. We will be able to generate the certificate and share with you on email within the next 48 working hours. It's a Saturday, so please do allow us time till Monday to get back to you with the certificate. And all you have to do is enter the full name, like how you want it to appear on the certificate. We won't need your email ID or any other additional detail. We will already have that email ID from the registration details. So please do just enter the name that you want on the certificate. And once again, let me tell you that to all of you who have stayed till the end, you will be getting this presentation as well as the recording of the session, as well as the resource, the exclusive bonus resource on email very soon. So yes, to all the participants, thank you very, very much for spending the last 2.5 hours with us. We hope that you'll be learning, able to apply the learnings from this session, as well as what you'll get from the applied generative AI specialization program to get ahead in your career. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone. Keino, of course, thank you so much for sharing your guidance and sharing your knowledge with us. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you. Do you have any final remarks to share? Any advice for our learners?
I would say be a learner, okay? And a lot of times we have to unlearn a lot of things that we've learned in the past to be open up to new learning. All right. This was not, I never thought I would have been in technical education. I began my career as a teacher, as a social studies educator. I still do that sometimes, okay? But now I'm more focused on technical education. But be a learner, okay? You're not gonna, if you want to stay on the cutting edge, you have to continuously learn. You have to continuously upgrade. All right, that's what I would say. Be a learner and continuously upgrade your learning. Be open to knowledge, and also be open to sharing that knowledge, because when you share that knowledge with others, that's how you really know that you know this stuff. Okay, I remember when I was in my program similar to Simplilearn, a lot of stuff, a lot of times I didn't really get it. It's when I really began teaching it to others, that's when I really began to understand it. So be open, stay open to learning, and always try to be a problem solver, never a complainer.
Perfect. When with those wise words, we're wrapping up the session. If anyone has any concerns or any questions that we were not able to address, or even any feedback to share, please do write to us. We see that one or two people, you mentioned that you were not able to access the certificate poll. This could be because you've not logged into the Zoom app, or that you've joined through your phone. In case if you're not able to access it, please don't worry. Just drop us an email on webinars@simplilearn.net. And if you have any feedback to share, please do write to us. And yes, we hope to keep seeing you in our future sessions as well. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for being here and spending the last couple of hours with us. Thank you. Thanks, Keino.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.